Right, fellas, pack up your bags. It is absolutely over, and this goes against my agenda as a whole. So if you want to find out who the secret characters are, hit that like and subscribe, and let's get into it, shall we? Rightio, yeah, Kubo just came out and just flat out said it. I don't know why they edited it in the Blu-ray for Core 3. Do you know what, mate? Maybe it's different, right? And you know, there's copiums to this, right? I talked about the secret character and I spoke about the audition tapes, and I gave the agenda that these two are possibly synonymous with each other. They're related. Chances are, you know, it's a bit baffling to me. You know, when I logically trying to think about how this is all going to play out, because I think that's where everybody wants to know where this is going to go, is that, you know, it could be for multiple things, and the copium can ensue where this could just be for Bleach Brave Souls. Because it literally could be, right? I mean, like, the anniversary is around the corner. I'm not saying that it's going to be Kazui Ichika for BBS anniversary. I don't think it is, in fact. I think I've been told. But the voices for Kazui and Ichika, they're essentially coming into play. Regardless of whether we like it or not, they're coming into play. And regardless of whether this secret character is going to do something is another question. Right? Is it going to be someone new? It could still be the Soul King. I'm a little bit disappointed that it might not be now. But again, we have 2 volumes worth of content to go through on Thousand Year Blood War. And people are going to say to me, well, why are you so against this? And I'm not particularly against it. It's just not the way that I personally think is the best way to go around it. Though I do understand that there is complete flaws in my want and desires in regards to this core. As everyone knows, this core does end off with Kazui and Ichika, and a 10-year time skip, mind you, a 10-year time skip. Now, again, we can do a Dragon Ball Super, 100%, right? It's been done before, the recipe's there, it's not out the scopes, though I would have preferred things in a linear fashion of the timeline going as is. It doesn't seem like that's going to happen, but it's like it's true to a certain extent, because it's like, if you don't have Kazui and Ichika, how do you end off Yuha? How do you kind of make that thing climactic, and how do you end the series? Though on the other side of the fence, it's like, okay, well, then you can continue with Ichigo doing his thing, and then after Yuha gets splattered to the ground, by the way, spoilers, lol, but once you have Yuha splattered on the ground, then you just go straight into Can't Feel Your Own World, right? You just go in straight into the epilogue, because the epilogue goes right into the aftermath of that. And it's quite plausible, you know. Here's my other agenda, which would kind of make everything that I say redundant, is that they could just simply add the epilogue regardless. Right? They don't need to do Can't Feel Your Own World, they could just throw in the epilogue. But at the same time, they would have to acknowledge Tokinada that goes into Namayo Etsu's basement and picks up, you know, the sword, right? I forgot what the sword is. Don't you fake Bleach fan? Yes, I know, right? The hollow sword, right? So we're coming close to an acknowledgement, and I think the acknowledgement is important, and depending on the route that we go to is going to be dependent on that acknowledgement, right? And I didn't want Kazui and Ichika because I would prefer that. Okay, cool, like that's going to give us more confirmation. But it does seem like Thousand Year Blood War as an IP is going to be adapted as an IP, and then if we do get more Bleach content in the future, it will probably be a different IP at that point and be called something else, like Dragon Ball Super, for example. It's not Dragon Ball Z, or it's not Dragon Ball Daima, you know. So it kind of goes against what I preferably wanted, but again, you know, it all depends on how it pans out, right? I might even like it, I might not, who knows? I think that's the fun about it, but we have to accept that Kazui is going to be Core 4, the overpowered little rascal. I like him as a character, I like Ichika as a character. I didn't want that time skip, man, because as a Bleach fan, I want more, and I hope that, hey, if they do arcs in between the time skip, fantastic. But I was hoping those 2 chapters weren't going to be done, because then, like, the Bleach verse could continuously keep going. There's also the other side of the scenario too, where there was a club a club outside question 2 about Ichigo going to burn the witch, and of course Kubo doing what Kubo does, saying that he wants to draw something. I'm going off the top of my head, you'll see a screenshot on screen. Kubo's like, oh, I want to do something with Ichigo going to see burn the witch or whatever the fuck, right? So it's like, okay, cool, like that's when was that? That's 2 years, no, that's 12 years after 1,000-Year Blood War, I think, if memory serves me correctly. So currently, like, the Hell arc and burn the witch are in the same time period, or in the same time zone, right, of events, even though we can still get arcs or movies or OVAs or special chapters and whatnot of things that happened in between that 10-year time skip, which I'm all for. I would have preferred like big long arcs and you know, stuff like that, which again is still possible. It seems like Kubo wants to move forward potentially in the story and give us those, you know, burn the witch, ex-Bleach things, scenes as he's lined up everything. And especially with Hell Arc too. And I know people are really going to be enjoying that I'm saying this, right? This concept of Hell Arc. And because I think it is a smart move to push Hell Arc. Everybody wants to see Hell, and again, like, I want everything, right? I want everything from the 10-year time skip, and I want the Hell arc. I want it all now. I'm just like you guys, right? But like, thinking about it on a long term. Now, granted, maybe I'm being selfish because maybe Kubo's getting older. Maybe, you know, we won't have him for a long time, and that's a reality we have to think of too. Maybe it's the thing that, like, okay, he wants to do Hell arc, and maybe he wants to coincide it with Burn the Witch scenes, as he's lined these two time periods up quite nicely to involve each other if he wants to. So that could be a setup too. But yeah, seems like the character is Kazui. Unfortunately, my idea didn't come into motion, and I guess I'm just gonna have to ask you guys how you guys feel about it. I'm a little bit disappointed about it, but hey, I'll keep an open mind and we'll see where this goes. And I just hope that within this arc that we get to see at least some hints towards Can't Fear Your Own World, because at the end of the day, you know, once we, and I say this all the time, it's like, you guys want a Core 4 release date, and like, so do I, but the moment we have that date, we don't know when the next core date will ever happen. As far as we know, this is the last core, and like, our expectation for anything else after that, like, we don't know. We don't know what happens to Bleach. Now, personally, I do think there'll be more Bleach in the future because of just how successful it's been and how much of a good money bag it's been for Aniplex. But we also have to come to that realization that we won't have a core date for a very, very long time after Core 4 is finished. But hopefully I'm wrong, but I have to keep those expectations in check. But I'm going to leave that with you guys. You guys tell me your thoughts in the comment section down below of what you think of the news of Kazui and Ichika. Do you think it's the right move to make? And if you had to make a prediction of where Bleach is going to go forward, of how it's going to adapt things, will we get light novels? Will we go straight into Hell? What's your take on it? Because again, we have a 10-year time skip, and then we have a 2-year time skip. So it's like, you know, there's a lot of content that's just been like skipped, right, potentially, that they have to play with. So yeah, I'm gonna catch you guys later. You guys of course have this fine day. JaymesHanson. As always, people, peace out.